when she comes back after leaving, the first thing most men do wrong is rush. They react too fast, too emotionally, and they forget that the same woman who is now reaching out once made the choice to walk away. That's why the best starting point is control, calmness, and self-respect. You don't need to show anger. You don't need to show excitement. You don't even need to show desperation. What you need to show is balance, because the way you act in those first moments sets the entire frame for what follows. If you lose your composure and take her back instantly, she will sense weakness. She will feel like you've been waiting with an empty space in your life, like your growth stopped the day she left. But if you remain calm, centered, and detached, she will realize something powerful, that your world is kept moving without her, and that she is the one trying to step back into your life, not the other way around. Think about it. If she left once, she believed she could do better. Maybe she thought the grass was greener. Maybe she wanted freedom. Maybe she thought you weren't enough at the time. Whatever the reason, she chose distance. Now, if she returns and you instantly fold, what story does that tell? It tells her that your value never increased. It tells her you were just sitting there waiting for her return, no matter how she treated you. That's why the man who values himself first always pauses. He lets her talk. He lets her explain, but he doesn't chase. He doesn't beg, and he doesn't act like she is doing him a favor. Instead, he acts like the man whose time is valuable, whose energy is precious, and whose life has purpose beyond any relationship. That frame makes her respect you. And respect is the key. Women can love without respect for a short time, but they cannot stay in love without respect for long. If she feels you are beneath her, if she feels you are too easy, the attraction dies. But if she feels that you are the man she cannot easily control, the man who knows his worth, then her attraction grows. That's why the first rule is simple. Don't act desperate. Act calm, composed, and detached, even if deep down you still care. Because it is not about faking. It is about showing that you have grown stronger in her absence. Now, once you have controlled that initial response, the next thing is to ask yourself why she is back. This is where most men fail, because they don't investigate her motives. They assume her return means she has realized her mistake, that she loves them again, that everything is fixed. But reality is not always so pure. Sometimes women return because they are lonely. Sometimes they come back because the man they chose instead did not live up to expectations. Sometimes it's financial stability. Sometimes it's simply the comfort of the familiar. If you don't ask yourself why, you will fall into the same trap. The strongest man doesn't just take a woman back. He evaluates her like he would evaluate a business partner, a friend, or anyone entering his life. He asks, does this person add value to my life? Does she respect me now in a way she didn't before? Is she here because she truly wants me, or because her other options failed? The truth is, if she left once, the possibility of her leaving again is always there. So you must make sure her return is genuine, not temporary. That requires observation. A woman will always say words. She may say, I miss you. She may say, I've changed. She may say, I was wrong. But words cost nothing. It's her actions that reveal the truth. Does she invest in rebuilding the bond? Does she put effort into seeing you, into respecting your standards, into aligning with your vision? Or is she just there when it's convenient, when she's lonely, when she has no better option? These are the questions you must keep in mind. And while you're evaluating her, never forget the third key. Show that you have grown. Nothing is more attractive than a man who has improved since the breakup. If she returns and finds the same man she left, her respect won't rise. But if she returns and finds a man sharper, fitter, more focused, more disciplined, then she realizes she may have underestimated you. Growth is silent proof that you don't need her to survive, that you've built a life on your own terms. It makes her see you differently because now she knows she is not re-entering the same story. She is trying to be part of a new chapter you've written. That's why you must never stop your journey when she leaves. Too many men waste months, years crying, stuck, frozen in the past. But the man of value keeps moving. He uses the pain as fuel. He builds himself. He invests in his body, his mind, his career. And when she comes back, she faces a man stronger than before. That is when she respects you the most. That is when she realizes leaving you may have been her biggest mistake. But even then, don't rush. Rebuilding should be slow, not fast. Think of it like a house that once collapsed. Would you rebuild it overnight using the same weak materials? Or would you take time, strengthen the foundation, and only then allow it to stand again? The same goes for a relationship. If you let her back in instantly, the cracks remain. But if you go slow, if you observe, if you let time reveal the truth, you give yourself protection. You make her prove herself. You make her invest. And in that process, you maintain your power. A man who values himself doesn't just want a woman back. He wants a woman who fits his vision. He knows that taking her back too quickly without testing her actions leads to repeated heartbreak. So he allows things to unfold naturally. He doesn't text her nonstop. He doesn't rearrange his life around her. He doesn't become her source of endless validation. Instead, he lives his life, he keeps his focus, and he lets her earn her place again, step by step. And in that patience, in that self-control, lies true strength. Because any man can run back to the familiar. But it takes a man of discipline to hold back, to let her show her true colors, and to only commit when she has proven herself worthy of his time again. That's the difference between repeating old mistakes and creating a new standard. When she comes back into your life, the thing that will truly define the future is not her words, not her promises, not her excitement in the moment, but your ability to hold firm boundaries. Without boundaries, attraction fades. Without boundaries, respect dies. A man without standards is a man who will get walked on, used, and discarded. That's why when she tries to return, you must be very clear about what you will and will not accept. If the old habits return, if the same disrespect shows up, you have to be the kind of man who doesn't hesitate to walk away again. Because boundaries are not about controlling her, they are about protecting you. Think about it. When a woman left you once, something in the dynamic wasn't right. Maybe she lost respect. Maybe you lost frame. Maybe she tested you and you failed. If you allow her back without setting new boundaries, you're inviting the same problem again. But if you make it clear that things will not look the same, that you won't tolerate the same disrespect, that she must step into your life with respect, with accountability, with consistency, then she realizes you are not the same man she left. She realizes you have upgraded yourself and that being with you is a privilege, not a guarantee. And here is the truth. Women actually respect boundaries, even if they push against them, even if they resist in the moment. Deep down, they admire a man who refuses to bend on his core values. They admire a man who isn't afraid to say no, because that no shows strength. It shows independence. It shows that you are not ruled by your desire for her. And once she feels that, she respects you more. She invests more. She tests less. Boundaries create the container for love to actually grow. Without them, the relationship is chaos. But how do you know if she is serious this time? That's where the next principle comes in. Test her consistency. It's easy for someone to say, I've changed, but change isn't proven in a week. Real change shows itself over time. So you don't rush back into intimacy. You don't rush into making her your number one again. You don't rearrange your life overnight. You let time expose her truth, because anyone can behave for a short period, but only someone genuine can maintain respect, effort, and commitment consistently. So when she comes back, watch her actions more than her words. Does she reach out first? Does she make an effort to see you? Does she respect your time? or does she treat you like an option? Is she bringing peace into your life or drama? These are the questions that reveal everything. And the man who is patient, who observes rather than rushing, will always know the truth, because consistency never lies. If she's genuine, her actions will show it daily, weekly, monthly. If she's not, the cracks will reveal themselves quickly. Now, while you're testing her consistency, you must also maintain your frame. Frame is everything. Frame is the invisible power of a man who knows who he is, what he wants, and how he lives. It's the standard that you set, the vision you carry, the energy you project. When you stay in your frame, she aligns with you. When you lose your frame, you align with her. That's when you chase, you prove, you beg. And that's the fastest way to lose her respect again. Frame means you don't collapse into her emotions. If she's upset, you don't panic. If she pulls away, you don't chase. If she tests you, you don't break. You remain calm, centered, focused. You let her see that your emotional state is not controlled by her mood, because the man in frame is the leader, the rock, the foundation. And women want to feel that foundation, not instability. They want to feel that you are grounded, that you won't lose yourself no matter what she does. That's what creates safety for her and respect for you. Staying in frame also means you don't let your loneliness or your desire make decisions for you. When she comes back, it can feel tempting to give in immediately, to grab the comfort, to surrender to the old feelings. But a man who acts from loneliness is weak. He makes choices not from strength, but from fear of being alone. And every time a man chooses from fear, he loses. That's why the 7th point, staying in your frame, is not just about her, it's about you. It's about proving to yourself that you are the kind of man who doesn't compromise his standards just to have company. And that leads directly to the next truth. You must decide from strength, not loneliness. If she truly aligns with your vision now, if she respects you, if she brings value into your life, then yes, maybe she deserves another chance. But if she is just filling a void, if she is just a warm body in your bed, if she is just a temporary distraction from your emptiness, then you are setting yourself up for another heartbreak. The man of value never chooses a woman because he is afraid of being alone. He chooses her because she amplifies his life, because she adds to his mission, because she respects his frame. Loneliness can trick men. It can whisper that anything is better than being alone. But the truth is, nothing is worse than being with the wrong person. Nothing drains you more than being with someone who disrespects you, manipulates you, or doesn't truly value you. So when she comes back, you must be brutally honest with yourself. Am I letting her back in because she truly belongs in my life now, or because I'm afraid of silence? If it's the latter, you're betraying yourself. And the man who betrays himself always pays the price later. So you hold the line, you let her show consistency, you keep your frame, and you decide from a position of strength. And when you do that, everything changes. Because now she knows that being in your life is not automatic. She knows she must prove her value. She must align with your vision. She must respect your standards. And in that process, she respects you more. She invests more. And the dynamic shifts permanently in your favor. When she comes back after leaving you, one of the most important truths to keep in your mind is this: you must be ready to walk away again. Most men, when they get that second chance, think it's their only chance. They hold on too tight, they cling, they bend their standards, and they ignore red flags just because they don't want to lose her again. But here's the reality. You didn't lose her when she left. She lost you. And if she tries to play games after coming back, if she shows the same patterns of disrespect, if she starts slipping into the same behavior that killed the relationship the first time, you must be willing to step away without hesitation. That willingness is power. That willingness is what makes you unbreakable in her eyes. Because when you show her that you're not afraid to walk, she realizes she can't manipulate you with fear. She can't use silence to control you. She can't use withdrawal of affection to make you bend. She knows that you are a man who values himself too much to tolerate nonsense. And ironically, the more willing you are to leave, the more likely she is to respect you and actually stay. Weak men think holding tighter keeps a woman, but strong men know letting go, if necessary, is what keeps her respect alive. And respect is the glue. Without it, nothing lasts. This is why you cannot build your happiness around whether she stays or leaves. The man who ties his peace to her presence is already lost. You must anchor your peace in yourself, in your mission, in your discipline, in your vision for life. When she sees that, she knows she's with a man who doesn't need her but chooses her. That difference is everything. A woman wants to feel chosen, not needed. If she feels you can't breathe without her, she loses attraction. If she feels you are fine on your own but prefer her, she invests more. So point 10 becomes the final truth. Choose self-respect above all else. At the end of the day, whether she stays or goes, whether she proves herself or not, you must never lose yourself. You must never sacrifice your dignity just to keep her. Because the worst betrayal is not her leaving. It's you betraying yourself by lowering your standards, by ignoring your values, by tolerating disrespect. The man who values himself first will always win. Because even if she leaves again, he walks with his head high. And even if she stays under the right conditions. Conditions where respect, consistency, and strength form the foundation. So when she comes back, don't panic, don't rush, and don't give in just to fill the silence. Hold your boundaries, test her actions, stay in your frame, decide from strength, and always remember, the power is in your willingness to walk away and your commitment to your own self-respect. If you hold that truth, no woman can break you, and no return will ever shake the value you've built within yourself. That's all that needs to be said.